It sounds so bad in my car. People are like looking. Yeah, I don't have that. And you have kids, you have family.
I have a stepson.
You have a stepson?
Yeah.
Oh man, for me, well, you look very caring. Like
I definitely care about that kid a lot.
yeah, well, you have emulates in your pictures, so that's awesome. Are you going to be performing anywhere?
I don't think I have anything lined up right now. I mean, I've been on Decadence, I've been on Hollow Freaking Weed, I've been on Global. It just kind of happens randomly. I might get a phone call a week before at Beta and end up opening for a major act or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you are available for like corporate gigs and anything like that? Are you open to that?
Perhaps, depending.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you tell them what you're open to.
All right.
For hire. Because it takes a lot away
Oh, yeah.
from your. You have a regular job.
Mainly music, but I do lift and Uber on weekends.
Everything.
I know. It's because it's
Yeah,
flexible.
no, it's all good. But you're also good at what you do there with the production stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that is one of the few traits that is really hard to kind of nail down. Because everybody can, all these DJs out there and singing and whatever they're doing, but nobody's actually producing music.
Yeah. Well, I came in on the opposite end. Most people go in, like, I want to be a DJ, I want to be famous, so on and so forth. I was making electronic music when I was like 13, and I'd never been to a rave. And I just thought electronic music sounded cool, so I was doing that well before I was mixing. Mixing was an afterthought. Mixing was something I learned to do so that I could get my music out there.
That's why you seem so mature.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you worked on, like, I know you've worked on big projects, right? So some of that music that we're listening to has been on some bigger projects.
Yeah, I did actually I don't know if I gave you the remixes I've done. I did a remix of Cell Dweller, his track called Best It's Gonna Get. I remixed that, and that actually ended up in How I Met Your Mother, in one of their episodes.
Did you hear that?
And then I also did a remix with J. Scott G of Shiny Toy Guns that ended up on their album.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that too. All right. Have you had, as you're performing, have you had any funky, weird fan encounters?
Weird fan encounters? I don't know. There's almost too many weird things that happen in EDM.
You're such a political guy, so I'm trying to figure out like what kind of people follow you.
Electronic music fans and people.
You got Paul following. He likes your music.
Yeah.
Albeit you guys kind of butt heads, he likes Paul because some of the things he talks about. Mm-hmm. Some of these people in here are conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. I try to base things on fact as much as possible.
I saw that, and you guys, I appreciate because before you're actually putting it out there to open up that debate, you've done quite a bit of research.
Yeah.
You're just not going to talk out of your ass.
Yeah.
And so
it's the impulse share generation where they just read an angry headline like, oh,
all that false media.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened to Pence with that. And as much as I don't like him, I'm kind of wondering,
he didn't explicitly say he's for gay conversion therapy, but he's voted against LGBT interests numerous times. Like he voted against marriage equality.
Which leads to speculation.
Yeah. And I mean, his statement was a little weird. It was about homosexuals behaving better, basically. So it was still kind of a weird thing to say. But yeah, he didn't out and out say that he supports gay conversion therapy.
But it's a good example about how the media was able to influence people and legitimately talk. Okay, so up there it's telling us we have 32 seconds, and then this is just for me to keep track because it's 6 o'clock.
Okay, good deal.
Closer to you.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and the guests alone and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the management of KUHSdenver.com.
Hola, buenas tardes. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. And this is Dr. K, and we are still here in the studio at KUHSdenver.com, where we have been playing music for the last hour. We listened to some of Joe Man, and we're going to listen to some more of that. But then I also turned up the heat with some of my Latin hits. What we're going to do right now is we're going to get up close and personal with Joe Man, who's sitting right here to the right of me
Hello.
on the mic. Hi, Joe Man.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Oh my gosh, we just had not a lot of snow, but I want to say it's the cold that kind of hit me most.
Frigid. Absolutely
Frigid.
awful.
Yeah, and Farmer's Almanac. I love the Farmer's Almanac because I love my garden, but it says that it's going to be a very long, cold winter, and I guess we have another cold spell coming. So are you really ready for that?
I've been ready, considering it took so long for the weather to change at all. Like
Yeah,
I was like, is
snow.
it gonna snow this year? This is Colorado. It's supposed to snow, and nothing for so long. And then in December, finally, it hits. Kind of
Yeah,
unusual.
a bit of a bitch because if you're gonna give me all that cold, at least bring the snow. Like really. So are you the kind? Do you like to go up and ski in the mountains?
I've tried skiing and snowboarding to no avail. I'm not good.
Okay.
And I suppose that's something I could work on, but yeah, I let's just say I don't have a natural gift for it.
Yeah, and so I know that would lead to my next question. Joe Man, are you a local here at Colorado? You're native.
I am. I was born in Aurora, grew up in Littleton, and I live in Lakewood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's gonna lead to my next question, and I gotta ask because if you're a native here, there's a bit of a sore subject, and that's about transplants that came here because of the weed issue. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's been great for our economy. The biggest downside, in my opinion, has been the traffic is just awful. I-25 is backed up, it seems like all day now. But I'm glad that we've gotten all that revenue from the marijuana sales, and I personally think there's no excuse for marijuana to be illegal on a federal level or a state level, because there's no comparison to the effects that it has on the body versus alcohol, which kills people all the time.
Absolutely.
And, marijuana's never at least directly killed anybody.
Do you think that marijuana, for all those critics that are out there and they think that marijuana is a bit of a gateway drug, do you kind of fall into that bit of that fad, or do you disagree?
I would have to disagree, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a photographer, and his car got broken into, and he blamed the marijuana transplants, quote unquote. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting jump to make, but yeah, he blamed marijuana smokers, and I was like, I think I'm probably more likely to commit a crime sober than I am stoned.
Absolutely.
Like all I want to do is play video games.
Right. It kind of makes you just kind of chill out,
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I think if somebody is gonna smoke marijuana and then go off and shoot heroin, I think that was probably something that they were gonna do regardless of whether or not marijuana was brought into the picture, because I know plenty of people who are casual marijuana smokers. Some of them barely even drink. Not to mention there are a lot of benefits to, say, for instance, CBD. My girlfriend works at a company called Bluebird Botanicals, and
Nice.
And they sell CBD to people all the time. And while I can't legally speak on their behalf as to its medicinal benefits,
Right.
there are a lot of people that use it for pain and for other things. There are people that have used it to treat epilepsy in their children.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is Google epilepsy CBD, and you'll find videos of kids with everything from seizures to Parkinson's disease, where they take CBD and their symptoms are gone.
Yeah.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen. So I think that the criminalization of marijuana has been the result of decades of media fear mongering. Think back to Reefer Madness. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
No, yes.
Absolutely ridiculous 1930s propaganda piece against marijuana, and it's got this pianist who's like smoking a joint, and he's like insane and like looking around the room like a lunatic, and it's just.
Well, if you think back into the days of the Prohibition, before marijuana was on that list of drugs that they categorized it up there, people actually carried around with them. Some people had a pack of cigarettes. Some people carried around a pack of joints, and that's how it was all the way up until the Prohibition days. So for all these people that come at you about the weed and they say, "Oh, weed's a drug and it's illegal," well, you only put it on that list to profit off of it.
Exactly. There's a lot of things surrounding cannabis that are special interest driven.
Yeah.
Big pharma obviously doesn't want marijuana to be legal because some people use it for pain, and that would subvert their opioid clients.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Goodness gracious, God forbid. I mean, even still, for the people that have cancer and they are taking morphine or Valium, that's so expensive.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get into another question about insurance and such and such. So it behooves the government to actually keep it on the illegal side because it has a higher value, whereas if they actually removed it as such, it's recreationally, federally legal, then you're not going to profit off of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt people in the pharmaceutical area.
Yeah, I think it's been generations of two things: certain special interests that don't want their profits affected, and this mentality that anything that alters the mind must be inherently bad, regardless of whether or not it's a plant that grows out of the ground. And that's just paranoid, uninformed thinking at work.
Absolutely, and I'm totally in agreement with that. Now, okay, so let me see here. We're going to go to a music break. We're going to do Stay. Before we play this song, can you tell us a little bit about Stay and what is the motivation, what's the inspiration behind that?
Stay is a song off of an album that I'm currently working on that I'm shooting for having done sometime early next year.
Okay.
And a lot of the album is about breakup and heartache and just some of the things that I was going through. And I decided to depart from just my typical dance music comfort zone. And I've got, really talented musicians that are friends of mine playing guitar on tracks. This track, for instance, there's a guitar solo in it that my friend Blendrix plays, and I do some of the backup chords, like the power chords during the chorus and stuff like that. So there's me playing guitar in it. I'm doing the vocals. My friend Jimmy Blendrix is doing the solo, and then I produced everything else, the beat, the synths, and so on and so forth, and just kind of did a rough master for you guys so that you could play it on the air.
All right, go with it.
Go to the music counter on real quick.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a restroom in here?
No.
No.
You have to go outside in the back, and you can just straight down the hall. You
had me going.
You run right into it. Straight down the hall. What are the?
Ay.
Which one? Which one again?
Wait, I made a mistake.
Too flawed to keep you?
Yeah.
Flawed to keep you?
Yeah, perfect.
And any more after that?
No, that's it.
Any more talking?
Well, yeah, we just got started.
I know, but these two, and then you weren't talking on each other.
Yeah, we're going to do another 10 minutes.
Okay.
That sounds really good. I love that one. Yes,
so
yes,
much.
yes. I've been trying to get all of this under control, and it just got me.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I actually struggle with that a little bit too.
Yeah.
It's usually seasonal. It'll always get worse during
I haven't had one for a good while, but I've been good. And I know when they start.
I'm gonna put 2 commercials between the next
And that was
song.
a good start. I was just about ready to go into another question, so that's really good. If it sounded good, just get up closer
Oh, yeah,
to the
sure.
mic. Yep. What do you think, Henry?
Were you able to hear me though? Was that...
Yeah.
I
He's
couldn't hear
paying
you.
attention to all of it.
I couldn't hear you at all.
Well, shit.
No, I'm in the other room. I can hear you on the mobile. I can hear you in the other room. I even turned it down.
I do okay with projection on these things.
No, you were doing fine. Your voice is projecting fine, and you got great cadence. So
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's good. You gotta keep saying over and over again about how you produce that,
Mm-hmm.
because then people are listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
Care about you and your family. We also understand that holidays are around the corner, and what's better than having a home filled with Christmas cheer? Don't miss
Anna,
holiday special
Come here, hurry.
Lucky's Landscape, holiday style.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Joey.
Style.
Nice to meet you.
Listen.
Listen. Holiday lighting and decorating, including areas such as roof lights, trees, shrubs, fences, structures, winter protection of trees, shrubs to minimize rodent deaths,
Denise
snow
does a good
plows,
job.
results,
I would send her.
sprinkler
See?
blow-off, annual flower planting, weekly turf mowing and trimming, weekly
And I get
bi-weekly or
nothing.
monthly horticulture.
I get Hal, and everybody gets all the praise.
Anna, this is Joman. Joman is Anna.
Yes, we were introduced,
Oh, okay.
introduced to each
I
other.
want some of the praise.
She's a badass.
I want someone to
Editor
edit
and
video.
video.
Yeah, I haven't had a
cater to
serenata. I haven't had a serenata. Still don't have my Miami
Come
calling
on
me.
down to Jazz at Jack's, a local Denver, Colorado.
Well, Henry, they're not letting you go, so I don't know what you think you're doing.
You guys are wrong. Okay, let me go ahead and correct you. I don't belong to
There,
anyone.
how
Let me correct that.
Now
Okay.
we're located
I am a human being.
on the top level.
I belong to myself. Okay.
And
my dream is my dream.
6 nights a week,
Okay.
opening at 5
Órale,
p.m.
pues.
I like it.
Jack's features
La
live
chingona.
And chingona.
music.
Say that again, but slower so I can, because I'm kind of bold. And the old people don't, they're not
I
fast.
know,
you know?
right?
Whatever the occasion
Look at
is.
that.
Oh, you're gonna do another one of his
Yeah,
songs. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
what the-
perfect. That's
I don't
perfect.
say, hold on.
Okay.
Hija de carnicera.
Ok. Con tapatío y pico de gallo, no te olvides.
433.
Pico de gallo.
Yes. He's like, I did it.
I caught that one.
Cerveza.
You like pico de gallo?
Cerveza, yes.
See, because I have this chrome, they pick on me. You know, they think I'm, you know.
Everybody tells me that it's
It's
attractive.
It's in. Yeah.
He's got the same thing. He's got great hair too.
Where? No, he's not.
I don't have any gray hair.
No, not that great. No,
Oh,
but
great.
you have
Yeah.
great hair. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
I don't have a fucking great
I'm
hair.
gonna be like, no.
Okay, jumping on the fire, me. Everybody
I'm
else.
avoiding it. I'm
Because I'm not
avoiding
like that old man over there.
I got a little bit coming in like here and here, a couple
He's like, no,
follicles.
no. He's always remember me. He's like, no gray hair. I've been gray since 18. I have the Elvira. I have it here, and then here.
You
Oh,
may
yeah.
have great,
So
but I have chrome. Mine is chrome.
Mira, listen.
Mira. Listen. I'm gonna grab all this music.
He's great. Yeah, take all the German stuff.
I am.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, I will.
Even Lemon's girlfriend, she loves it. It reminds me of like that time when like men with a hat men at work. I say things like that and people are like,
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, if I say
We
like
can
even
dance if we want to.
yeah, but if I say like Billy Idol too, I love Billy Idol.
Me too.
Like who's Billy Idol? Do you want a water?
I would love a one. Thank you.
So I'm going to put you in the rotation because I have a show that I do today. It's called the Denver Takeover Show, and I use all these local musicians, local bands, local producers, everything. And I stream it all over the world. And there's some people have some really good play, others.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
It's
I
just
appreciate it.
some people and some people.
Yeah.
But today I did a really nice show, and I had a variety of people in there. Let's see, I'll tell you what I was running. Innocent, she's a young gal, she's doing some really nice stuff. I had Break of Dawn, Gumbo Left Funk, Rachel and the Ruckus, Timmy Houston Project Rock. I don't know if you like rock music.
I love rock.
It's got a slow jam that's really
Nice.
nice. Yeah, it's really sweet.
I like progressive rock. I'm a big Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
guy.
that's what he does.
Big Pink Floyd.
I am too. I like it. And then we do a show out of the northern quarter in Europe,
I am.
and they come backwards and they do it's going to air after. It's a big fat indie show, which is indie rock out of the northern quarter in Europe.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got a minute.
They come on at 7:00 in Houston, but they're broadcasting from out this way. Out this way.
Yeah.
It's really strange to hear the voice. Listen, down to KUHS radio. It's strange, but it works. Inside our studio. It's inside here. Okay, you're going on then.
Yep. 15. And we are back in the studio at KUHSdenver.com. This is Dr. K, and we are here at Real Questions and Answers with Joe Mann as my co-host.
Hi, guys.
So, Joe Mann, tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been producing music?
I've been producing music for approximately 16 years. I started really, really young. I started when I was like 13 years old. I used to listen to like Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and you know all those old school like techno artists like Fatboy Slim and stuff like that. Actually on the school bus rides to school, and my cousin gave me a copy of some music making software, and from then on it was just every day. I just played around with it. And in 2011, I went and I interned at Colorado Sound Recording Studios for a year and refined my technical knowledge a little bit. And we were talking earlier about how my coming into this was pretty different from the way a lot of people usually come into it. It's usually like, I want to be a DJ, so they become a DJ, and then they either learn how to make music or they just hire a ghostwriter to make their music or something like that.
Right.
I came in on the opposite token. I'd never been to a rave, I'd never DJ'd or anything like that. I was making the music first, and then the DJing was an afterthought so that I could get my music out there to people. So
Nice. Now, have you actually collaborated and worked on some bigger projects?
I have.
Yeah.
I did a remix with an artist called J. Scott G of Cell Dweller of a track called Best It's Gonna Get, and that ended up in How I Met Your Mother in an episode called 12 Horny Women.
Nice.
And then I also did a remix with him of Shiny Toy Guns, which they put on their album. And of course, Dayman Step, which is a remix of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which got picked up by the cast, and they put it in a promo video. It's on their YouTube. Glenn Howerton, who plays Dennis, posted it on his Twitter. And last but not least, I just did some tracks with the 80s Billboard group Animotion,
Yeah.
who wrote the song Obsession, which was a Billboard hit in 1984. and I did some tracks for their upcoming album Raise Your Expectations, and yeah, and I've done a few people's theme songs, and I've done all sorts of stuff, sample packs for Beatport. And,
Very
yeah.
philanthropic there in your genre of music, but not just as a DJ. You literally you're very very talented as
Thank
a
you.
producer, so that's really awesome. And I think that in this industry, what sets one person apart from the other is the amount of effort that you put into it.
And I have put in a lot of effort.
You have, and it totally displays there. So if people want to follow you, if people want to see more of your music, how can they do that?
They can go to my website, joemanmusic.com, JOMAN music.com, or my Facebook page, that's just Facebook.com/joemanmusic. And from there you can find my SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com/DJJoeman. If you search me on YouTube, you'll find my channel, and you can find Dayman Step, which has like 2.3 million views on it or something like that. Yeah, you Google me, I'm the first thing that comes up. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, now I really did bring you on here to talk a little bit politically, and I want to touch a little bit about what was happening, especially more towards the end of the election, and that's with a bit of the false media that gets put up everywhere, and how irresponsible that is on the media, or even per se, let's say Facebook. They are so good about filtering things, and the music that you put up, they immediately censor that and they'll remove it.
Yep.
Why don't they censor the false news?
Because I think people see it as more of a free speech issue, but it's gotten completely out of hand. And I was shocked when Mark Zuckerberg acted like it wasn't something that's worth addressing, because Facebook is a cesspool of false information, and people will impulsively share something based on a headline without doing any research whatsoever. You click on some of those far right or alt right news sources, and it'll just be like, this person said that and that and that, and then there'll be no links to anything else anywhere. And I mean, and there's liberal media that does the exact same thing. It's a problem on both sides, and it should be addressed. And they censor all sorts of other things. They have terms and conditions. They don't condone hate speech and so on and so forth. So I see no reason why fake news sites shouldn't get pulled down the way that a lot of other content does off of Facebook.
And agreed. Snopes is one of those, you guys. For everybody that immediately jumps to Snopes to confirm that news, whether it's real or not, you guys are aware that Snopes is also bought and paid for, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's going to tell you what you want to hear based off your algorithms or whatever it is that you're chatting or talking about on the internet. It's not real accurate facts.
Definitely not. You have to look beyond the article. If they're talking about a document, find said document. Read it. If they're talking about emails, find the emails, read them, figure out the connotations, figure out if there's exaggerations or conclusions that are being made that are exaggerated or just flat out erroneous. You have to do your homework, and if you don't, then you shouldn't share it at all.
Yeah, it's very irresponsible. Just like the people that want to be very loud and they want to complain. And I mean, I have my perceptions about people who want to protest and whether or not you're going to get any outcome from it.
Sure.
But for me, what I get pissed off about are the people that are participating. And asshole, you didn't even register to vote. You didn't even vote. Does it even count? Should you be able to voice your opinion? That's what I get pissed about.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's free speech. Of course, they can voice their opinions, but if you're not going to participate, it kind of invalidates, what you're saying. If you're not going to contribute in any way, then why are you even talking?
Absolutely. So let's say somebody's coming at you because you're pretty bold, and I appreciate your boldness.
I'm pretty outspoken.
You're very outspoken, and somebody posts some off the wall. Maybe they're blowing bubbles out of their ass, who knows? And they're making a comment and they're trying to engage in your open forum. Where are you going to go to maybe confirm some of the information that they've sent to you or said?
Well, I'll use Google.
No, and that's fair enough.
And look beyond, just the first result that comes up. Like, for instance, you Google climate change. One of the first results is Fox News, climate change is a hoax. But if you scroll down 3, 4 more posts, you'll see NASA's entire section on their website that's devoted to climate change that shows that, we have higher carbon levels than we've had in 650,000 years, and we're losing 118 metric gigatons of land ice every year. But they don't see that. They just see the Fox News or the Breitbart article that's like, oh, this is all about special interests, which is funny to me, because when they say it's about special interest, nobody is more special interest driven than the oil companies and the fracking companies and the coal industries, and they dominate the industry. They're the energy industries, and so to act like anything about climate change is just this elitist scaremongering nonsense is an erroneous conclusion that's not based in fact whatsoever.
It doesn't make sense.
97% of the scientific community agrees that man-made climate change is real, and in my opinion, to pretend that it's not is to pretend that carbon emissions don't exist. It's to pretend that carbon doesn't come out of your tailpipe from your car. It's to completely ignore the greenhouse effect is a thing. It's just to look at all of that and say it's make believe, even though the evidence is right in front of us.
I agree. If you go to my wall, actually, there's a couple of feeds that I think the comments have gotten into the hundreds mark.
Mhm.
And you also see where friendships, maybe even relationships amongst family, are being lost over this specific subject.
Mhm.
I have a really good friend that anytime that we post anything about global warming, he immediately comes back at us and he says, no, that's not true. He goes, show me the scientific proof. And he's having a hard time believing the fact that, there is actual global warming. You have snow. You have a snowstorm in Hawaii right now.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's why they no longer refer to it as global warming. They refer to it as climate change, because people, they'll jump to conclusions. They're like, oh, it snowed this year, therefore global warming isn't a thing. Like that, that senator or that congressman or whatever who walked into the house with a snowball and acted like that was somehow substantial evidence against climate change. It's ridiculous.
It's bigger than that.
It's okay. They have to wear masks in China because the air quality is so poor. Like, that's not going to have a long-term detrimental effect on the environment.
No, people actually go to a green screen to take a picture in China.
Oh yeah, it's all Photoshop.
It's all Photoshop. But I think it's more than that. You have animals. You have insects. You have plants that are on the endangered list more and more every day. We
single-handedly, since the industrial age, have seen the extinction of 52% of the life on planet Earth just in the past 150 years. Yeah. And just yesterday, there was that big toxic pit in Montana where it was 20,000 or 50,000, some crazy number of birds flew into it and died. And to act like 50,000 birds dying in a toxic sludge pit somewhere isn't a sign of things that need to be changed. I mean, that's a dynamic number right there alone, standalone. Now, okay, so I'm gonna put the one question that I was gonna ask you off to the side, because the question I'm gonna ask you is really important. So how does climate change or global warming fit into the political arena right now with the current situation with our president? What needs to happen and what should happen to, if there's any hope whatsoever at beginning to reverse the damage? Well, based on his cabinet appointments, the outlook, in my opinion, is grim. But if something were to have to happen, I'm hoping that it would be him meeting with climate experts and being swayed, because I think he's a people pleaser. I think he just wants to make everybody around him happy. Yes. And I think that's half of the cabinet appointments are just people that don't say mean things about him and are nice to him and have money. Yeah. And so I think what he should do is meet with climate experts and discuss the issue, and maybe he'll learn something that he didn't know before. I know he already met with Leonardo DiCaprio, but everybody's discrediting him because of his carbon footprint and the fact that he's an actor. And he also met with Al Gore, which everybody just hates because he's said dumb things like I invented the internet and so on and so forth. But he needs to meet with scientists. I think would be way more crediting to the movement, because as it stands, it's easy for a lot of people on the right to dismiss it because of the people that he's been interviewing. But his intent to lift EPA restrictions on coal and oil industries it's negligent, it's detrimental, it's dangerous, and
he's doing it he thinks he's doing people a benefit because he's doing it on a business factor, but he's not looking at the long-term effects and what the repercussions are going to be for us. In a bit of a way, we're already living the karma from what we've done to the earth in conjunction, all of us. So he's going to push that.
And the economy is important, although I haven't really seen anything from him, to evidence that he really even has that great of an understanding of the economy. But the economy is important, so the move to create jobs is a good thing. But it's not just about economic prosperity all the time. We have to consider the long-term consequences of our actions, what we're leaving behind for our children, what we're leaving behind for our children's children. These things are important, and I think if you even look back as far as Reagan's presidency, the country was in a state of economic prosperity, but he did not consider the long-term consequences for a lot of his actions. He did not consider the long-term consequences of the war on drugs and the fact that we have, 2.5 million people incarcerated. We're the most incarcerated country in the world directly because of Nixon's moves on the war on drugs, and Reagan, and even Clinton and his conservative Democrat approach contributed to that problem, and he's admitted that that's something that he regrets. But in the Iran-Contra deal and just all the things that Reagan did, he wasn't thinking about the consequences that it would have. We essentially created, Al-Qaeda and these terrorist organizations by funding these militant groups because we were on such a heavy anti-Soviet push that we were just pouring money into these factions, hoping that they would stave the quote Soviet threat unquote. And I don't want to sound like a communist or anything, but we did some bad things regarding our fear of the Soviets and of communism.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing up Reagan, because for the stout Republicans out there and your conservatives who idolize Reagan, I mean, bottom line, Reagan was an actor.
He was. He was an actor.
He was an actor. But what the fuck did he do? And I appreciate you bringing up some of those statistics and some of those facts because that's what it's about. But he's an actor. He took orders from other people that were doing the work for him.
Yeah.
So what did Reagan really do? He did shit.
He did serious damage as well.
Yeah, he did serious damage, and the economy started to fall apart.
And I fear that Trump is headed down the same path with his appointments and with the things that he prioritizes. He sits on Twitter like a petulant child and retweets or attacks strangers for tweeting things at him, and it's ridiculous.
He blocks people.
He had to have his Twitter taken away from him on the campaign trail like a child.
Pathetic.
It's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
And he needs to get it under control. And and his wife went after this YouTuber who made a video saying that the youngest, I can't remember his name, that he was exhibiting signs of autism. And as it turned out, the person who made that video was on the autism spectrum, and he wasn't making it to be offensive. And they attacked him and demanded that it be pulled down or they would sue him. It's like, what are you people doing? You're about to be in the White House. Stop worrying about people on YouTube.
Oh, hello, Saturday Night Live. I think that's
and SNL. Yeah. Stop worrying about satire pieces.
You become the president. You put yourself subject to Saturday Night Live's criticism.
Yeah.
And
you subjugate yourself to all forms of criticism when you run for one of the most honored positions in the entire world. It's just.
I am in agreement with you on that.
And I see people saying like, oh, I can't wait to have a real man back in the office. And I'm just like, he hasn't done anything, in my opinion, to display that he is a quote real man unquote at all. He's throwing tantrums all the time.
And on that aspect, I knew back in March when I attended the political rallies between Bernie and Donald Trump. I knew that if the Democrats wanted a chance
they had to select Bernie.
They had to select Bernie. I'm curious though, and I gotta ask that question because I see you're very devoted to Hillary, and that's very compelling, and I appreciate your devotion. But hold on, prior to the primary and Hillary taking that, were you on Bernie's side?
I was on Bernie's side. I actually caucused for Bernie, and I was selected as a delegate in the primaries. So yes, I was definitely for Bernie.
Okay.
And I was for Bernie, and I would have voted for him if he had ran on an independent ticket. But when he conceded to Hillary, I knew that the outlook was not good, and that this election would probably be one of the most difficult decisions of my entire life, and I feel like it was. I really do. I feel like filling out that ballot was not an easy thing to do. But we are seeing the consequences of Trump come to fruition much faster than even I could have anticipated. He's not even in office yet. It's not even January yet, and he's already just continuing to incite this media frenzy of just embarrassment and slip-ups and I'm very genuinely worried about the future. And I don't think you said that I'm like a devout Hillary supporter. I voted for her. I wouldn't say that I'm her biggest fan in the entire world. She was not my ideal candidate, but Trump is demonstrably, quantifiably worse than she is. And when you actually read the emails, which I spent a long time actually reading the emails, you realize that a lot of what is in those emails is the same kind of international diplomacy, whether right or not. Whether right or not, it's the same kind of international diplomacy that we've had forever, essentially. Like everybody was saying, oh, because she was talking to the Saudis, we're funding ISIS. And it's like, that's kind of a jump to make, because we've been allies with the Saudis for a century. And of course, just like I said, Reagan, we have been funding these groups. It's not like a revelation. It's not like she's just sitting there and saying, let's give all these guns to ISIS. It doesn't work that way. It's quote, the fog of war, the quote, fog of diplomacy. It doesn't come down to one person making a decision like that. It's a lot of people trying to coordinate things, trying to figure out what the best solution is. And people are just quick to assume that everything is malintended.
Did you, before the election, did you take a look at anything that Michael Moore was saying about why Hillary was going to lose?
I didn't get a chance to hear anything that Michael Moore said about it. I did, however, watch his documentary Trumpland, which was really good.
It was really great. Yeah.
It wasn't. He threw me for a loop. I thought he was going to be incendiary. I thought he was going to be attacking, and he decided to take the high road and try to appeal and understand. And that was a really noble effort, in my opinion.
For Michael Moore, it was. But something that I am in 100% agreement with Michael Moore is what killed it for me with Hillary. It happened a long time ago, and it had nothing to do with the emails.
Yeah.
And it had a lot to do with the Iran war. When she voted for that, I was done. Didn't matter. Yeah, it didn't matter going forward what she was going to do. But then there was some shiesty ass shit that also happened. Yeah. During the war.
No, the Clintons have screwed up, and they've admitted that they've screwed up in the past. But at least they've admitted it. I mean, at least they've showed some shred of humility over some of the things that they've slipped up on over the course of their entire lives of being in politics. Donald Trump has not displayed a shred of remorse or guilt or anything for any of the things that he's done. His apologies are half-assed, and after he makes them, he's already going off on a tangent about somebody. There's no sincerity whatsoever, and we're seeing that in everything that he's doing. Sarah Palin, Ben Carson, Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I ran to the bathroom and puked when I heard about Sarah Palin.
The CEO of Carl's Jr. Have you seen Idiocracy?
Yeah.
You've seen Idiocracy?
Yeah.
Carl's Jr. Fuck you. I hate it. Yes. You are an unfit mother. Your children are being placed in the custody of Carl's Jr. I'm terrified. All I can do is laugh.
I'm terrified, but you know what? We're going to listen to one of your songs, and then when we come back, I'm going to tell you why I'm terrified, and then you're going to sound off on that.
Okie dokie.
So we're actually going to listen to your one song, The One I Love.
All right.
All right.
Oh, you mean my remix of
your
R.E.M.
remix. Yes.
Which they posted on their website.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to the ladies' room, and then I'll be right back. It goes fast.
Yeah, no kidding. So we're done at 6, you said?
Yeah.
Not much debate, I guess.
No, because you know what? Lane and Paul were supposed to be the other two. Lane he's an attorney,
Uh-huh.
but he loves Trump.
Yeah.
And then the burning supporter was going to be Paul.
Uh,
So when you're on the radio, you never talk about technical difficulties, and you don't talk about who can show up.
yeah, for sure. You just roll with it. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's just you and me.
Alrighty.
It's going good for you?
I think so.
Karen's
I enjoy her. I enjoy talking to her.
Yeah.
How long has she been doing this?
A year.
Wow, nice. Yeah, she does well.
This one goes out to the one I've left behind. A simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one
I need to know.
You picking up?
Yeah. I need to go to Longmont. He's
Really
doing
hot
that house or something.
What other song would you like to hear?
What other songs would I like to hear?
Yeah, of your stuff.
What you got here? Okay. Do High Fidelity. That's Joe Man and Leo Luna right there. There you go.
She's kicking off, and we need some more music to roll.
Sure thing, sure thing. Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's
bad.
awesome.
But I didn't hear that her and I were going to get into a political conversation. She's all about Trump, and she's all about
Aaron Brockovich is?
yeah, she's all about the political, like not against it, but she's all for it.
Aaron Brockovich. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is
So I've interviewed her and the whole entire time.
Alright,
in
I gotta
the
head.
fair.
So you gotta call me later.
Thank you. They're like, bye, nice meeting you
I gotta
too.
call you dirty names later.
They're all like,
I can too. What are you guys
she
like?
didn't
Now
see
or
it,
what?
so I just kept
What that
going.
mouth?
That's crazy.
Yes.
I
She's
can't
writing a
believe
book
that.
about why she feels water is important, but not how people.
Yeah.
She's totally corporate. Somebody bought her out.
That's nuts. Yeah, evidently.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
What's that?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna make my last final commentary, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish it off until 6 o'clock.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because you're doing fine.
Thank you.
We put an additional song on there because you're taking so long. You hear me?
He's giving me shit. You be nice. And I'm gonna bring out my mono.
You see how they do that? Yeah.
All the women.
All of them. It's like,
We got the Czech Republic, we got Uruguay, Brazil, Hungary,
Nice.
Carlton, United States, Beckley, Republic of Czech.
Sweet.
We've had a full house all night. It's been coming in because they got to log in.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
and they've all saved with us, so we've got a full house.
Nice.
Have you ever done radio?
What's that?
Have you ever done radio?
I've been in a radio interview once before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I got so hooked. That was it.
And I was interviewed for TV, for Access TV when I played Global. In,
Yeah.
In 2012, I was interviewed with them too.
That's actually cool.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get like one of the DJs, one of you guys, to come in here and do a radio show.
I'd be down.
Totally. Because you could do anything you want. You can run with it.
So display the track information for people.
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
So actually, when they're logged in, it's telling them exactly. So it's saying whatever you.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great.
so they know. And then when I podcast it tonight, I'm going to try to make sure that I put in all the songs that we play.
Good deal.
So.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. This was fun. That was really cool. We left that other stuff. We'll do a political debate when everybody wants to come in.
Yeah, for
Would
sure.
you be okay with Paul?
Yeah.
You guys
Sure.
would be able to? Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right.
I can handle it.
He's a character. But he sits there online too. Like, I guess his whole thing is about gaming.
Yeah,
Do you play?
I definitely can.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's probably how you and him got connected.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
But he likes your music too, so.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's a fan. But that's funny. In person, like on the internet, you can be a little bit intimidating because you have certain specific words, but other people aren't so lingual like you are, and that can intimidate other people. I just read through it because I see all the other people engaging, and there's no way I'm going to jump in there.
That's a lot of people's attitude, actually. They're like, I'm turning their notifications off now.
No, but it's healthy to have that kind of a debate, and it's also healthy to disagree. It's what people choose to do after that.
Yeah.
If they feel compelled to delete or whatever, or to block you, it makes me wonder a little bit more about you, like your life in general, more than just the social media.
Yeah. I only block people when they resort to below the belt insults or name calling, anything like that.
Yeah,
that's when I block people.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about you. There are other specific people, like my own sister blocked me.
Are you serious?
Because the thing about Hillary that I didn't like is I didn't want all these feminists jumping in and telling me who I had to go for.
Yeah.
That turned me off.
Sure.
So then I didn't even want to engage. I'm like, I'm done. You took money away from me. What am I going to do? Bring you back.
There's a lot of people's attitude this year.
Yeah, and honestly, does he have it? Does he have it to go and do it again in 4 years? I really don't think so. And I don't know. I think Pence is what people are going to be looking at. Sarah Palin, even Romney. I'm waiting for him to. He's sitting too cool right now.
Yeah.
And you did record the video one too? Okay. Seconds. And this is Dr. K in the studio here at KUHS Denver. We originate in Denver, Colorado, and that's in USA from our worldwide audience. But we are touching musical lives all over the world. We've had a full house, and right next to me on the mic as my guest co-host, I've had Joe Man for the whole hour, and it's been pretty awesome to talk to him about various different subjects. He's pretty bold on social media if you do follow him, but in person, he's a pretty cool guy. He's a pretty stand-up guy. So on my final closing remarks, this is what I'm going to say. honestly, I really don't think that the Republican conservatives really ever expected Trump to be voted in. I really don't think so. And to save face, I think what they're doing is they're kind of conditioning Pence to be the one to take over in case they kick Trump out. And I think that that's why Pence is actually taking care of more of the nitty gritty things, and that's why he is being taken in. And they're disclosing information to him that they're not going to Trump because he's not taking it seriously. And that is very concerning. I'm very concerned because I'm not so sure that he's really the one that we want.
Mhm.
There, I think he's a lot worse than Trump.
He is.
So I'm
He
gonna
definitely
let
is.
you close that out.
He is measurably worse than Trump. He's the big baddie. He's the reason that people don't want Trump to get impeached.
Yeah, and that's serious.
because he's way more extreme on many things. I mean, in addition to pretty much everybody's a climate change denier in this cabinet. He's voted against the LGBT community. He's spoken against them. He's referred to them in less than flattering words.
The abortion laws.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He does not support Roe v. Wade or anything like that. I mean, that's a whole Pandora's box that we don't have time for in 3 minutes. But
Yeah, no, and it's very concerning for the women out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I think what Trump, in essence, what he really did is he divided the conservatives in a way that they've never been divided.
Yeah.
So for those who have been Republican and are not necessarily conservative, they're not there anymore. They jumped ship.
Yeah.
They
I know a
jumped
lot
ship.
of people who have never voted Democrat in their entire lives who voted Democrat this year because of Trump. But the problem is, all of them jumped ship, and that left nothing but these devout, impassioned Trump supporters who would make damn well certain that every person in their family went down to vote.
Yeah.
Because he spewed such divisive, incendiary rhetoric, but it resonated with some people, and I think it the way that I've heard it referred to is it's like the Band-Aid's been torn off, and it's revealed that a lot of things that are only 1-2 generations behind us are still present in our society. It was only so long ago that we still had segregation, that we still had Jim Crow laws, that anti-lynching laws had to be passed, for God's sake. So I think we're still experiencing the tail end of that wake, and it's just been bubbled up from this election, and these people are just so much more. They feel justified now. They feel emboldened, and that's why we've also seen a sharp increase in hate crimes in light of this election, because people feel like they have a president to back it up.
Yeah, they feel
And
justified.
that's the scariest thing, and we haven't seen the end of this by any means. There will be more, and there will be worse. I fear.
And I'm in 100% in agreement with that. And I just want the people to remember this. America is not in Trump. It's not in Pence. It's not in Hillary. It's not in Bernie. America is in each and every one of us. And we get it. We know that you all want to change. But in order to create that change, we all need to do it together. We don't need to be divided. And for those with children, the best advice that Dr. K is going to give you is talk to them about politics. Talk to them about blue until your face turns blue. Continue to talk to them, but don't influence their opinion. If they have an opinion, let them grow with it. And if they don't agree, who gives a fuck? Let them grow with it. But the future is in them, and America is in us right now. So we're going to do this together. And in this part, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun.
Likewise. Thank you.
This is not the last time you guys are going to hear Joe Men here on KUHSdenver.com. And so until next week, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you at the same time, same place here at KUHSdenver.com. And stay tuned for the Rock Vault.
Come on down to Jazz at Jack's, a local Denver, Colorado road and national.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
All right.
And then we have the Rock Vault coming on right next to me. He pulled out rock and roll. He probably forgot about it.
So if I message you, would you be able to get me like